is the Fits In with Her with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Hi, welcome to the EduKate podcast. Lesson 7, but I don't think we can call it a lesson anymore because it feels as though the lessons have come to an end. It's more of a recap. I'm here with Lizzie and Jess.
Yeah, lessons are over, Kate.
I know.
School's out. Exam was on, and now we get to find out how you performed.
Well, before we get to that bit, I would like to formally apologise for maybe not listening completely and getting swept up in the whole Taylor Swift madness. So perhaps I wasn't a good student.
I don't know about that because I will be playing back some of your chant attempts from the concert a little bit later. All I can say is if only you'd gone one night with like your daughter and practiced, and then on the night you came with me, excelled. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to have happened.
Well, I think that's exactly the way it played out. But I'm not allowed to say I went to 2 concerts.
That's right.
But I did, and I'm going to stand by the fact that I was able to do that only because, as much as I loved going with you, Jess,
thank you, Kate,
and having you there as my
I
date
also had the night of my life
security.
Yeah.
It was so nice to watch you there, and the listeners we took into the suite were incredible. But I would not give up the night at Taylor Swift on the Friday night with my 9-year-old daughter May
Hard for me to hear
anything.
So talk us through it. How amazing was it? Because obviously I went with you the second night, so I know what sort of a time you had then, and it was a bloody good time, Lizzie. Let me tell you right now. But what was it like with May? Your very first Taylor concert. Talk us through it.
Okay, well, we were lucky enough to have seats down on the floor. I haven't posted that video, but I think I'm going to have to because I continue to watch it over and over, where we're walking down almost the tunnel as if you were a football player running out onto the field, but you're presented with the crowd that is filling the stadium, all of the seats, and May, my daughter, has never seen anything like that before, and she's looking around, and I sweep around with the camera, and then she just squats down and puts her hand over her mouth.
Oh, that's so sweet.
This is just incredible.
You have to post that.
The way they counted down, of course, to Taylor coming out, the anticipation. I'm trying to think of the highlights, and of course, we have to focus on the concert itself. Having May and her little 9-year-old friend Polly sing "The Man" at the top of their lungs was one of the greatest moments, and May retelling the story and over where she thought Taylor Swift was so cool because she was saying to the crowd, "Oh my goodness, you guys are making me feel so powerful," and she does the kind of kiss onto the bicep. And for me, I mean, Taylor doing it is great, but having my 9-year-old daughter doing it is just next level.
I loved that as well because I saw May the day after she went to the concert and she was telling me all about that. And she goes, and then you won't believe it, she put her arm up and she kissed it. It was incredible.
Isn't that amazing? Imagine if we had something like that at the age of 9
Absolutely.
to look up at.
I know,
you know?
Exactly.
I'd like that she sang "The One."
Wasn't that so good?
And I was hoping for it as a secret song. Turns out it was in the set.
Yeah, we could try and tell you that.
I know. I wasn't listening. I saw it 2 nights, filmed both the nights, had a little cry on both the nights.
Yeah.
And I just love that. But I guess my recap, and I haven't got around to formally writing a letter to Taylor, and the night I got home from the concert.
Haven't sent her a tea towel yet or anything?
I was thinking I need to write a letter to this girl. She's probably never going to get it, but I think I need to put the words onto the page to thank her, not only for the show itself, but what I think a lot of people felt around this whole Taylor Swift phenomenon that was when she came into the country. Thank you for just one of the greatest few weeks of our lives.
Yeah.
Look at you two.
It really was.
I mean, I'm preaching to the converted in this room, but I have to say, yes, the performance was amazing. Yes, it was the word I kept using was flawless. There was nothing about it.
We so agree, don't we? We're going to agree on everything. That's right.
But what I also think was amazing are the things that I'm guessing she has an inkling she's contributing to, but the time spent with my daughter, the time in preparation, the time travelling to the concert, the not being able to go to sleep before it, the learning of the songs, the singing in the car, the making of the bracelets. I even had a little quiet moment on the night before the concert where we were making bracelets, and I thought, oh my goodness, what am I actually going to do when all of this
with all that free time. And that's it, I think. And the lead up to it as well was so positive. Like, it was the fact that we could do all those things. You and I, we were all talking about what shirts we get, what are we going to wear. We were sending makeup back and forth. We were making the friendship bracelets. I don't think you will ever really go to a concert again that has that much lead up and that much excitement.
And everyone cheering for the same team. You go to these stadiums, you're barracking for different teams. People are giving each other a hard time. It was so inclusive. It felt really unified or united. And one of my girlfriends, one of the things that she thought was amazing and what contributed to the positive feeling, I'm blabbing on now, aren't I?
No, not at all.
Is that she noticed how the bars were empty.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think that's
interesting.
completely true, because I saw a couple of mums in front of me swigging on white wine.
And we saw someone that probably couldn't even get into the concert.
I got a few beers on the both nights.
But you know what? You're only human, love. But it had a completely different feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone was there for the same reason. So thank you, Taylor Swift. And I feel a little bit sad.
I know, me too. Well, Lizzie,
we were saying,
what were your highlights? Because you went on the Friday and the Saturday as well.
I did, yeah.
What was there a difference in crowd vibe as well? Did you experience that or anything?
There was for me. So on the Friday, I was, I think, on the first or second level. But then on the Saturday, I was down on the floor. And I felt like on the Saturday night, and maybe it's because I was down on the floor and a bit more in it, I felt like Saturday's crowd was a lot louder. So if you were in Saturday's crowd...
Well, I was at Saturday. You did both. What did you think?
I thought Saturday's crowd was louder, but I thought maybe... Well, it's interesting that you say it was louder and you were down on the floor, because I was thinking when we were sitting further back in the suite, Jess, that perhaps the noise kind of travels up the arena.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's why I thought maybe it was louder, but maybe they were just more into it.
Or maybe it was me screaming in your ear for 3 hours.
Oh no, May was pretty loud. I did notice she had a very different wardrobe.
Yes,
so there were
changes.
a few new frocks, which I thought, that's nice. I did like the man outfit better on the Saturday night, but I
so
preferred...
the Saturday night she had the original Lover bodysuit, which is everybody's favourite, which is the purpley pink one.
Oh, okay.
And then for the man is then when she has the silver with that, and it's all a bit... they're all beautiful
because she wore black on the Friday night. It was almost like a pinstripe suit.
Oh,
Still sparkly as,
obviously.
crazily.
Bejeweled.
But that's also part of the fun of the concert is my sister and I on the way there were like, what colour bodysuit do you reckon she's going to wear tonight?
It's a lot like Gladys in the COVID updates. What's the jacket? What are the numbers? It's what's she wearing? What are the surprise
Oh my
songs?
goodness, I don't think Gladys and Taylor Swift in the same sentence. I'm not sure that's been said before.
And I have to say, not my favourite album of hers, definitely in the top 5 for me, but Evermore, the Evermore set was where I lost it. I was screaming to every song, but the Evermore set, I was actually surprised by how, I think that was my favourite era of the night that she did. Not because Champagne Problems personally speaks to me, but because I don't know.
You were so overwhelmed here in the lead up to the concerts. In fact, I think on the Friday morning of our radio show, ahead of the concert, the anticipation.
Someone did a mental health check.
You were overwhelmed. Was there a moment where it leveled out and it was amazing, or were you left disappointed? I mean, there was a lot of build up for people.
The whole time it was amazing, and I didn't cry actually the whole concert. Like, I had moments within the songs. Long Live, I cried. Champagne Problems, I cried. I cried here and there, but I was more just like, I just wanted to take it in. I was screaming everywhere. I lost my voice, so when I came in on Monday, I didn't really have a voice. But the people who I were with on the Friday were Taylor fans, but not like we are, guys.
Not the same intensity.
No.
Yeah.
And one of them turned to me after the concert and they said, I just couldn't... She was like, I loved watching you more than I loved watching Taylor, because I couldn't believe how you knew every single word to every single song. And I was like, well, if you don't know every word to every single song, what are you doing here?
Well, you bet that.
no,
but you kind of you are
some of
you
them.
do allow some of us.
Apart from Kate.
We are the ring-ins, but them watching you would have been like me watching Jess on the Saturday night. And speaking of Long Live, it was wonderful to be at the concert with an absolute true fan because there were so many things that, maybe I know the chants, maybe I know a bit of this and a bit of that, but like you explained Long Live to me and that this song is for the fans and see how everyone's into it. This is why. Like it kind of, you know what you need for the next Taylor Swift concert, and I don't know how they would do it because you need to listen to the songs, is you need the headset, like, when you go to the museum and you go, and this song, Long Live, is actually for the fans and how after Taylor Swift is long gone, she hopes you stay united.
I really took on the EduKate role very seriously that night because there were quite a few whispered moments where I explained a few things.
Yeah.
Kate, the Lover House burning down, which you then told everyone on the video.
Yeah.
We talked about Marjorie and hearing the voice echo through and Long Live and everything like that. So that was very exciting.
Yeah, that was the bit for me in Long Live where she goes, if you have children someday, when they point to the pictures, please tell them my name. And I'm standing there with my sister going, when we have children, like, we will tell them about her.
Okay, I'm glad I went with Jess.
So for me,
yes.
when we arrived, now I don't know if this is like a sad adult thing or if there'll be people out there that can relate to me.
I always relate to you.
But not only, when we got there, we had a great time in the car getting there. That was very fun. And then we walked very much around the long way to get into the stadium. So by the time we got there, we chatted to the listeners, took some photos, friendship bracelets, gave them lanyards and everything.
Yeah.
And then we only had like 5 or so minutes before it started.
Timed perfectly.
As the clock came up and then just the stadium erupted, I felt so much joy and excitement, go from the top of my body through to my toes, and I just haven't felt that in years.
Oh,
do you have moments? I don't know if you have moments on a day to day where you feel that level of excitement. I get little bits of excitement and lots of joy and little bits, but the fact that I could just feel it radiating through me, I was like, this is such an exciting moment. Like, it felt like a kid being at a theme park or something.
Yeah, or like the night before Christmas when you're little.
Exactly. Just like nothing else mattered in that moment.
Totally.
And then when she came out, it was just the most amazing thing because not only is she like someone that I share every car ride with or we do the podcast about or I read lots of stuff online, she was like right there in the flesh, like 50 metres away or however close we were.
You did look at me at one point and say, see, I'm here and Taylor's there.
Yeah.
So we're actually in the same space.
I know, it's just
it's unbelievable.
It was amazing. And then I just thought she came out, she was so powerful, so strong, looked amazing, just had control of 80,000 people, just all there for her. And the main thing that stood out to me, which I think is quite ironic because we've been doing a lot of chat about Taylor on air, a lot of chat about Taylor on the podcast. You and I text back almost every day, little Taylor facts. And I just thought all of that fell to the wayside. And I was like, the reason that there is so much chat, and maybe it annoys some people if they're not that interested, is because of this moment right here and how incredible she is.
Yeah.
She's worth it. She's worth every bit of chatter and the reason that she's so big, that she's Time Magazine's Person of the Year, is because of what she did at that concert. And I know to someone listening, you might think, oh, it's just a concert, like you go along and you sing some songs. But she was so empowering. The vocals were insane. The set list was amazing. The whole stage and everything, just what a production it was.
Yeah.
The amount they would have spent on it, on the fireworks and the fire and everything. I just absolutely loved it. And I didn't think it was possible, but I left more of a fan than I was going in. And I feel like I'm in the top 0.02 on Spotify.
I remember you
thought
texted
I was a
me
big
that.
fan, but it was just incredible. And it was amazing and I loved every minute of it. So thank you for taking me.
Oh, guys.
Oh, can I just say that on the day that I did ask Jess to go as my date, when we were talking about going to the suite, and it was kind of like, well, I need someone to go. And this was long before we'd even contemplated the EduKate podcast. And so Jess, as a producer, was sitting in the office. I said, well, I'm going to need to take someone. And Brendan, our boss, said, oh, okay, and I don't know whether you asked me, maybe you prompted me now from memory, but it was like, well, and who would you take? And I said, well, I'm going to take Jess.
No, there was no prompting. You out of the blue that came.
It's beautiful.
But I don't think anyway.
No,
this story's kind of going nowhere.
No,
but
but I know.
what I mean is, even that little part of the story and I'm going to miss you guys.
I
We're going to have to find
know.
something else to talk about. Maybe I could even educate you at some point.
that would
I
be
would love
nice,
that
coming
because
with a bit of work prep.
You know, I've always wanted to know about the history of tea towels.
And I would love to know how actors really get into the zone.
Perfect sponge cake.
Why are you laughing so hard? It's actually really rude what you're doing now.
Come on.
Because I do know some things.
Well, what would you educate us on?
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll come back
Anyway,
to that.
let's park that. Let's just say thank you, Taylor Swift. It was
Yes.
it really was
It was
amazing.
incredible.
It was.
You're right. She did so much more than just perform at a concert, but then on the night itself, it made sense.
Yeah.
It was like the planets aligned. It was
Totally.
like,
And it was all worth
I
it.
get this.
Every bit of gossip and every bit of chat and everything, the reason she's so popular, it was worth it.
And
that's
it's a
'cause she's
feeling you
amazing.
can't actually put your finger on or put into words of what the atmosphere on the night was like. Like, we could obviously talk about it forever, but it's something that you'll hold to, like, in your memories and in your heart forever, that feeling.
Totally.
Exactly what you were saying, Jess.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
So what I'd love to do now is obviously went with Kate, made sure she was across the chance.
Yes.
Gave her a little heads up before a few of them because
Yeah,
I know that
she's
she really
quite
wanted
ferocious,
to deliver
Lizzie.
on them. So, you know, of course, we made sure that she knew what was happening.
Yeah.
The first one that she did tackle in Delicate, the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. How did Kate go? Let's have a listen.
I think that was me.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Perfect.
Then it came time for Anti-Hero. Do you remember how you went on Anti-Hero? Let's have a little listen. Now, you can hear me there
Oh, was
with
that
pneumonia
you?
losing my voice, but you can hear Kate as well. And she absolutely smashed that one. So well done,
Amazing.
Kate.
You started strong.
I did. Then it came time, unfortunately, for the 1989 era. And I don't say that because of the 1989 era, because that was absolutely amazing. The problem was when Style started.
I missed it. I turned around to say, what do I have to... I've meant to
missed
have
it.
said
We did a lot of work on Style.
All right.
Well, that was your fault, really.
Well, actually, it wasn't, because what's cut out there is I'm saying it's coming up. Are you ready? Are you good to go? But in the video,
It's all right.
bit of a blank face. I think you were just blank face, blank space. You were just watching Taylor and you missed your moment.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because there was another moment from
Yeah.
the concert that we probably need to talk about. That is the surprise songs.
Oh, yes.
Now, the podcast that we did before we actually went to the concert, we didn't put this bit in the podcast, but we did stay back and record what we thought some of the surprise songs might be.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you guys of this moment and what Lizzie had to say. Have a little listen. What I would love to do now, this is separate to what songs you want. This is what you think we're going to get. Just 2 songs.
Okay. I think we're going to get something like Is It Over Now or Say Don't Go or Out of the Woods. I feel an 1989 moment happening.
Yep. Could see that.
Either whether it's one or a mashup of 2. All I keep hearing in like, I'm
dreams.
completely sane, but all I keep hearing is that it's going to be 1989.
And what Lizzie thought would play in one of the shows in Australia was the 1989 mashup. Let's have a little listen. 1989, Was It Over Now? Oh, Is It Over Now?
It's unlike you.
And then into I Wish You Would from 1989. Lizzie 100% getting it right with the 1989 mashup. Okay, the other person that might have got something right, it's either you or me.
It's not me.
Have a little listen. And the 2 that I think is Maroon. And the reason I think that is because she played Red very
Yes.
recently, and I think if Travis is around, it's like a play on red, maroon, another colour.
I think you're going to be right, Jess.
Have a little listen to what played on the Monday night in Sydney.
When the silence came with the shaking,
I think In terms of surprise songs,
Oh, yeah.
Monday absolutely won.
What else did she do?
So she did a mashup of Forever and Always and this song, Maroon. And she also did Ivy, which was a mashup with Would've, Should've, Could've. And they're just songs, because they're also, Ivy is from Evermore, but Would've, Could've, Should've is like a bonus track from Midnight.
That was on my list of the songs that I wanted to happen.
Of all the 2 nights to be there, and then you missed the last
I know,
night.
and I was sitting there in my room on the TikTok live, and as soon as I heard her start singing it, I went, "Oh, Taylor!"
I was doing the same
I love
thing.
ya.
My wife and my sister at the Monday night, and I decided to watch on the live stream just so I felt like I was kind of there with them. And I was just texting them, just like, "Oh my God, you got Ivy. Oh my God, you got Maroon." Just all the best songs. Although I did love Kate when we went, and Lizzie, you were there as well. So she started playing New Year's Day on the piano, but there was that glitch. It started playing the synth thing. So she played a chord and then had said, "Oh, that's not right," and then played a bit more to fix it. And then we knew it was New Year's Day.
Straight away from the first note.
And I
she was
said to Kate at the time, I just felt like I won that game we played in the podcast where we heard the start of a song and had to yell it out.
but in live time.
Was
yeah,
there
in live at the
chat
concert.
coming out of America or other international crowds that Australia fared quite well as far as it was almost as if she saved up a bit of stuff for us?
The hardcore Swifties, we will watch the TikTok lives. Like, I'm still watching her Singapore dates at the moment, and it's so nice because you get to then, as the show goes around, you're still watching and you're still talking to other Swifties, and you're all kind of this community together even once it's left your city. And so Singapore, for example, I forgot what their surprise song was the other night. Oh, Mine from Speak Now, which is one of my favourite songs ever. And you kind of have this moment where you're all like, "Oh my God," together, but via the internet. But exactly what you're saying. So then when it was our turn, everybody was saying, okay, well, Australia is clearly her favourite because what is going on with these surprise songs?
Really?
And not only that, but we got a mashup, apart from Melbourne Night 1, we got a mashup we pretty much got 4 surprise songs in Australia
Every night.
because both of them were a mashup, where she hasn't really been doing that. She's just been playing one song in full, the other song in full for all the other countries.
Yeah.
And then, we pretty much got all the best songs.
And we also had
thank you, Taylor.
Sabrina Carpenter join her for Whitehorse, which was very special.
That's right. Well, that was all because of the bad weather, wasn't it, on the Friday?
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. That's a wrap. In terms of concert, educating Kate on Taylor Swift. Kate, well done. You did pass in the end.
Well, I did.
But
And
you
did
know
very
what?
well.
Do you know what? It's still not over because we've got a new album coming out in a month, guys.
Oh, that's right. April 19.
We've got to get ready now.
Very
for
good,
that.
Kate. April 19, the Tortured Poets Department, not Dead Poets Society, although I'm sure we will say that at some point.
Did
It's a
you
bit
know,
confusing.
I read a story about the Google search for Dead Poets Society kind of increased by 500% or more,
serious?
like 1,000%. Not because people were actually looking for Dead Poets Society, but they were all typing it in incorrectly,
so
trying to
funny.
find Taylor's
How
new
good's a
album.
typo?
That is seriously funny. And if I can just touch on very quickly,
Yes.
speaking of poets, came out the other day, she's related to Emily Dickinson.
I saw this. You sent it through.
Isn't that amazing?
It makes sense, doesn't it?
But I'm also like, how? I know it's not. I know she hasn't done it on purpose, but it's like she's
Well, because
releasing.
it's out of her hands, really.
She's releasing an album about poets department society, blah blah, and now it's come out she's related to a poet.
We're probably
can't.
related to her too. Everything's 6 degrees of
That's
separation.
true. That
I'm
is
probably
true.
No.
related to Taylor Swift.
That's so nice to
Maybe.
know.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, girls. I've had a wonderful time.
That is our
And-
absolute
Thanks,
pleasure.
Kate.
And I think through the forceful hand of the business that is Nova Entertainment, we'll likely be back next week with a different topic.
Yes.
Still under the EduKate banner, where maybe you'll educate us. Maybe that's the spin we'll put on
I
it.
would love that.
Yeah, I'll pull out my tea towels. Don't go anywhere.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.